Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Brothers and sisters, welcome back to another video. First of all, before we get anywhere into this video, I'm going to just encourage you guys, do click the subscribe button down below, inshallah ta'ala, for the regular videos. And do follow me on Instagram as well to keep up to date with everything I'm doing. Now, let's get into this video. I came across these shorts, one of these shorts, or maybe both of them, scrolling on Instagram the other day. And when I first saw them, I'm like, I feel like we should speak about this. And then I just left it. Yesterday, I'm out with a friend and this topic comes up. And then I'm like, you know what, nah, I really think I should make a video about this, especially after reading some of the comments on some of these videos, which I do want to delve into. So I'm going to try and do this in a systematic manner because there's a lot of things I want to cover. And I'm going to try and keep it as compact as possible. We're going to watch the videos first. We're going to react to them, okay? And then we're going to speak about this topic generally. We're going to lay down some ground rules. What are the ground rules on this subject? And then we're going to speak about it on a practical level, inshallah ta'ala. Let's go.
Just don't say that you've always created a comfortable environment to bring stuff up. You haven't. And that's straight up true. And I don't care if I'm going to get backlash for this. And I'm sorry that I'm upset right now, but I am upset because you keep constantly saying that. And that is completely false.
No,
you
it's
haven't
not
created,
false.
Yeah, it is. Because you haven't created a comfortable environment to that level where I can come to you and talk to you about everything. And I'm telling you how I feel. You cannot tell me how I feel, Mom. This is the problem with parents. You can't tell me how I feel.
Then it's on you, beta. Whatever I think that
I'm telling you right now, given the way you react towards certain things, the certain things that you say, the backlash, this comment, that comment, these toxic things that you say, you haven't created a comfortable environment 24/7.
Because those things are in your betterment. If I say something, it's not out of the context.
Oh my God. Okay. Parents have 100% God-given right to say whatever the hell they want. You know what? If my kids get into an amazing school, you suck. You could have gotten to a better school. Oh, but I'm right to say that because you know what? It's in the betterment of that child.
No, it's not. They should not say
No,
that.
no, Mom. It's in the betterment of that child.
No.
So you just proved that it doesn't matter if it's in the betterment.
No.
If it's in the betterment of that child, does that still not hurt the child?
I never ever said you
No,
suck
I'm
on
just
that.
giving you an example.
Okay, before we get into the second video, I just want to say, look, you can't speak to your parents like this, okay? It's just, I mean, it's a no-go zone. And, you know, well, let's get into the second video before we get into it properly.
What the hell you mean that you are living with your parents? If you ever remind me that you did this for me, I am going to walk out from your life forever.
No. What I'm saying is I feel like I live for you. This is what I mean by that. I want to make you happy. I want to fulfill your requirements. Whatever you ask of me, I want to do it. You said, Wajeeh, mera beta lawyer banega. Okay. You said, go to amazing school, go to top schools. You instilled that into us. You put fear into us for that, right? I did all those things. I had all those fear. I worked my ass off to get into the amazing schools. Why? Because my mom would be really happy and would be really proud, and I want to make her happy, and I'm doing it for her. Wajeeh, my dream is to have a house. I want to see my mom happy. I want to see her live in the most beautiful house. I want to do this for her. You're thinking that you're doing all this for me because you are making me become the best version of myself. Now I'm telling you is that all these things, I'm doing it for you because I know that is what you asked of me. And I want to fulfill those wishes. I want to see you happy. And now how I feel as a first generation, even though I've done all those things, I still feel like it's not enough. We're trying to fulfill your guys' checklist and your requirements and your happiness. And even though we do all that, we still feel like it's not enough.
Then do it more. No, I'm just kidding.
So do you see this? Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay, let's get into these videos. Firstly, I want to address the people in the video. Obviously, there's a brother called Wajeeh, and it's with his mum, etc. First of all, I used to watch this brother and his brother, who used to be called Firecakes and Kai Soma and some of these YouTubers. Back in the day, I used to watch these guys and I used to enjoy their videos and stuff. I have nothing personal against this brother. I'm not making this video to slate this guy and stuff like that, etc. I have nothing personal against him. Look, you cannot, especially the first video, you cannot speak to your parents in this manner. From an Islamic perspective, you shouldn't be raising your voice at your parents. You shouldn't be speaking to them in a way that is going to hurt them in a disrespectful manner. And you can see, man, his mum is hurt. His mum is getting hurt. Especially from the second video, you can see she's hurt. If you talk to me like this, I'm going to walk out of your life. When parents say stuff like that, they are cut. You can't speak to your mum like this. Full stop. It's a no-go zone. I'm really sorry. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what's going on. You can't speak to your parents in this manner. You have an obligation in Islam. You have a level of mannerisms, characteristics that you need to keep with your parents in Islam, and you need to keep them regardless. Even if you're going through tough times with your parents, there are red lines that you can't cross. It's just like that. There's red lines, you can't cross them. Doesn't matter what's going on, you can't cross those red lines. Okay? Disrespecting them, hitting them, etc. whatnot. There's certain red lines you cannot cross. Continuing now, about I want to talk about the actual I just want to talk about parents for a second here. And I can see, look, perspective, guys, is such an important thing. The perspective, the glasses that you wear, the glasses which, through these glasses, you see the world. Those glasses are so important. Your perspective in life is so important because wallahi, a person's perspective in life can completely transform and shift their experiences in life. I promise you of this. Now think deeply about what I'm saying. Your perspective in life can completely shift everything that's happened to you in your life. Okay? Allah makes it clear in the Quran the importance of being good to your parents. Allah puts being good to your parents next to worshipping Him alone. Allah mentions وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. That your Lord has ordained for you to worship Him alone and be good to your parents. And ihsana, this word is not just good, being excellent towards your parents, going above and beyond for your parents, treating them with utmost kindness. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he made it clear to us that, a person, or some of the best deeds a person can do in life. When the Prophet was asked, what are some of the best things that a person can do? The Prophet, what's the first thing he mentioned? Okay, praying on time, praying on time. Salah at its time. And after that, what did the Prophet ﷺ choose to mention? Honoring one's parents. Subhanallah. So after praying on time, which is such a big thing in Islam, the Prophet ﷺ could have mentioned anything. The Prophet ﷺ chose to mention honoring one's parents. The station, the maqam that the parents have been given in Islam is a maqam like no other. In terms of who's alive for you right now, those are the people for you. Those are the people for you, subhanallah. Not only that, we have narrations like, the pleasure of Allah is in the pleasure of one's father. And in another narration, the pleasure of Allah is in the pleasure of one's parents. And both of these narrations, they express that, and the anger of Allah is in the anger of the parents, of the father. And the opposite of honoring one's parents and being good to them is disobeying them. Which also, just like the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, being good to them as one of the best things you can do, being bad to them and disobeying them and treating them in a bad way is one of the worst possible things. One of the worst possible things a human being can do in his life. When the Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned, shall I not tell you of the greatest of major sins? And he expressed this a few times. And they said, yes. Oh Allah's Prophet, tell us, right? The Prophet ﷺ, the first thing he mentioned is associating partners with Allah. And we all know that's the biggest sin in Islam. Shirk is the biggest sin. What did he mention after shirk? Disobeying one's parents. Essentially being bad to one's parents. So guys, this is a very serious crime in Islam, to the extent some of the scholars, like Imam al-Dhahabi, he's got a book called Al-Kaba'ir, the major sins. He lists it as one of the first major sins he mentions is uququl walidain, being bad to your parents, disrespecting, being bad to your parents, disobeying your parents. So we really need to fear Allah about our parents. Really, really need to fear Allah about them. What's the response to this usually? Brother, it's hard. Brother, you don't know what I've been through. Bro, you don't know. All my life, my mom has been doing this. All my life, I've had so much pressure on me. All my life, uni. All my life, this. All my life, that. It's so hard. My mom doesn't understand me. She comes from Pakistan. She comes from here. She comes from there. All my life, this. That's usually the response. And people who, and I'm going to get into this now. Let's discuss the wider perspective of many people, unfortunately, right? I mean, let's just read some of the comments here quickly, right? Like on the first video, look, let's read some of the comments, right? And I really want to go through this, right? She's literally actively making it not a safe space. Bruh, why did I feel every word to my core? Because literally, look at some of the comments here. Ooh, I completely understand his reaction. This is mine. He was right and he needs to say it louder. actually, because the idea of just letting your parents treat you like trash under the guise of respect is aggravating, as you know, whatever. Everyone's feeling sorry for the mum here. But if you watch all the other reels, she's the kind of person who doesn't listen or let the other person express themselves. Her opinions are always, I'm a mother, I'm right, you're the child, so shut up. Have you heard her speak on the kind of, when you're 50 years old and you've got a 20-year-old child, talk to me. Talk to me then. I'm telling you now, I'm born and raised in London. I'm from London. I know that parents who come from back home countries, they may think in a different way to I think. But even me, when I'm 50 years old, I'm going to give my son advice. I'm going to say to him, listen, boy, you listen to this. I know what I'm talking about here. I'm going to give him the advice. And then if he speaks to me in a respectful manner and he says, look, Dad, Daddy, Baba, I don't want to do this because of X, Y, and Z. I think it's this, I think it's that, etc. No problem. That's fine. Have conversations in a respectful manner. But if he's going to talk to me like that, how is that going to make me feel about him? This culture of speaking to your parents in this manner, people have misunderstood even perhaps some of the rulings in Islam. They think they don't apply to them because their situation with their parents is different. Have you ever thought that perhaps the reward, perhaps being good to your parents is such a big thing in Islam because there's difficulty with it? It's not always going to be the easiest thing. Don't assume that you're the only person who's gone through things with their parents. All of us have struggled with our parents. Sometimes our parents may say things to us that we don't like to hear. We don't like to hear this. We don't want to hear this. But we have to have sabr. That is the Islamic way. And speak to them kindly. Speak to them in a kind manner. Speak to them, as the Quran expresses, in a way that is karima. وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. In a gentle, kind manner. It's a hard relationship. It's difficult sometimes. It's difficult because also your parents are going to be very assertive with you. Why are they assertive though? Because they care about you. Because they love you. Don't misinterpret that love. They love you, they care about you. Have sabr with them. Everything can be put across in a kind manner, in a simple manner, by sitting down, discussing with each other. And remember the point I said about perspective? I want to speak about this. Like for example, in the second video, I'm living for you. Everything I'm doing is for you. I went to uni. I feel like I'm doing everything for you. I feel like, okay, bro, what's bad about that? Why don't you change your perspective? That I'm gonna do so many things for my parents while they're alive, while they're still here with me. You know, anyone I've spoken to, why is this the common trend? Anyone I've spoken to whose father has died, I always get the advice, Brother Musa, your father's still alive. Be good to him. Your mum's still alive? Be good to your mum, bro. Your father's still alive? Be good to your mum, bro. And if I started mentioning the stuff like this, like what people are saying in the comments, those people who've lost their parents, you know what they're always going to say? Bro, have patience, bro. Because trust me, I've lost my mum, I've lost my dad. Trust me, you don't know how it feels. Have patience, bro. You're going to remember those times you were rude to your mum. You're going to remember those times you were rude to your dad. You're going to remember the time that you spoke to your mum in that way. It's going to ache your heart. Don't do this. That's what those people will advise you. That's what those people will advise you. Why? Because they went through what you're going through. And they realized, some of them, they realized too late, that subhanallah, the way I treated my mum, the way I spoke to my dad, it was so wrong. It was so bad. I should have just had patience, man. I wish I had patience. I wish I just listened. I wish I just went with it. Maybe Allah would have blessed me in my life. Perspective. Perspective. Make your perspective, Ya Allah, this struggle that I'm going through with my parents, you know, Allah, it hurts me, it's difficult, etc. Allah, give me firdaus because of this. Oh Allah, I love my parents. Allow them to understand me when I speak to them in the kind manner. And Ya Allah, I'm speaking to them in this kind manner because you told me to. Ya Allah, please make things easy for me. Change your perspective. Ya Allah, my mom wants me to become this, my mom wants me to do that, my father really wants me to do this, etc. Guys, even me, there's certain things that sometimes, you know, my father wants me to do, etc. in a certain way. It happens with everyone. And I have to listen to my father. I think there's a better way to do it. It's a normal life thing. I think there's a better way to do it. My dad wants it done in this way. Khalas, bro. Have sabr. Just do it in the way he wants it. Just do it in the way he wants it. No problem. You're going to make him happy. You're going to earn Jannah through this. You're gonna earn so many good deeds through this. Change your perspective. Stop looking at it as a challenge, as they don't understand me, as this. Why don't you start looking at it as a test? Like this world is. This is a test for me. And you know deep down, a lot of these people, they know that they're wrong. They're wrong for the way they speak to their parents. Do you know how they know they're wrong? Whenever they do it, they feel guilty. They feel guilty. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have spoken in that way. And if they don't feel guilty, then man, you really don't know what you're falling into. Listen to those hadiths that I mentioned before. You don't realize what you're doing. The anger of Allah is in the anger of the parents. The anger of Allah is in the anger of the father. You make your father angry, you're making Allah angry. So what does that mean then, Brother Musa? Does that mean I can't speak to my parents? Does that mean that I'm going to have to live like this for the rest of my life? Does that mean that I'm going to have to do this? Does that mean I'm going to have to do that? Calm down. What it means is, don't disrespect them. Speak to them in a kind manner. Sit down, discuss. And I'm going to end with this, because I don't want this to go longer than it needs to be. I have a friend who is in his early 20s. He's not very old. And I wanted to ask him this because he lost his father. His father passed away and his father was old. Allah yarhamhu, may Allah have mercy on them. I said to him, I asked him, how was your relationship with your father? He said, I was always serving my father. I was always serving him. This man, he was like a slave for his father. He was always helping his father, doing everything for his father. People say, some people, they talk like this, and I pray Allah guides this brother. Okay, I don't wish bad for him. I pray that he really thinks about what I'm saying. Some people, they think like this, how many people are thinking, even people in the comments agreeing with him. Some people think like this, and some people think like this brother. Look at this brother. He said he was literally serving his father. When his father was alive, he was just serving his father. That's what he was doing. He would be at home serving his father. Some of us, we would, because of our perspective, once again, we would see that as, oh my God, that's long. I want to go out with my friends. I want to do this, or this long. Why do I want to be with my dad, etc. His father passed away. He said to me, now, Musa, now, all of the things that are going well in my life, I link them back to me being good to my father. I believe it's because I was good to my father that Allah is giving me all of these good things in my life now. Allah is looking after me. Subhanallah. If you speak to your parents in a disrespectful manner, in a rude manner, even if they might be a bit rough with you, they treat you in a way sometimes you don't like it. If you have sabr and you speak to them in a kind manner and you kiss your dad's forehead, etc., and you walk out and you be nice to your parents, when they pass away, you're going to think back and you're going to feel proud of yourself. And you're going to remember them with good memories. But if you're bad to them, if they pass away, that pain you're going to feel in your heart for how rude and bad you were to your parents, it's going to haunt you. It's going to haunt you.